Hey, this is Andrew Brown, and in this video, I'm going to be going through the Google Clout challenges. So Google has made this challenge where they're going to release every single week a sandbox environment that's going to give you the opportunity to learn Google in an account where you don't have to worry about spend, but it also puts you up against a timer with instructions so that you really do test your skills. And I really do like this method of learning. I think it's great. I actually started making this video first because I was late to the challenge, but I'm going to pretend that I'm starting it from fresh right here. And so you should tune in every week. And if you do miss them, it's okay. You can go back and do them. And I'm going to post my solutions after each week that I do them. And, you know, even if you use my follow-alongs to complete them, I just want you to get that Google Cloud skills, because I do think Google Cloud is a great cloud to learn. But let's get to it. And so what I'll do is scroll all the way down here and start the first challenge here. I'm just going to drag that off screen because I might want to use it later. And so we'll take a look at the first challenge here. So enroll if you haven't yet to do so. There'll be an enroll button, and we'll click into the lab. And you'll notice we'll have a timer. That'll be the timer for 20 minutes. Even if we fail, it's okay. We can start it again. And sometimes you get a better time on the second or third time. So let's take a read here and see what we have. So in this challenge, you will import data from Cloud Storage Bucket into Cloud Spanner. I have some experience with Cloud Spanner. I'm very interested in its Postgres offering now that there's AlloyDB. I might be more interested in that, but we'll see. And it says the source data is provided by Cloud Storage source bucket name, GS bucket name, in a CSV file called Star Trek CSV. Star Trek. You know what? This is the challenge that I submitted, because you could submit challenges if you knew some, and mine, I guess mine's here. And the best part is, I have no idea how to do this. So I submitted the challenge and I don't know how to do it. So that's what will make it fun. But I definitely did submit the database structure, so I'm familiar with that. So let's keep reading here. So you must create a Cloud Spanner instance name with name and instance ID both set to Spanner instance name and the values that will be set here. So we'll hit start name. These values are going to get replaced once we spin them up. That's why they're yellowed out. I just figured that out. And in your Spanner instance and a table in the new database name, table name. So that's the structure here, and we have some instructions about how to do this correctly, okay? So we do have some tips down below here. So we can see it shows us the database structure for creating it and some additional information. So should be pretty easy, but we'll find out if I can even pass my own challenge. Okay, so what we'll do is open this up in a new Cognito tab, because I find it a bit easier to do these challenges like this. Whoops. I've already lost the tab, so I guess 1 second here. I will try to get it back. Here we are. So I find it easier to, to have this full screened and then the other one not full screen. So I'm just trying to move this around here, navigate, pull this off so we have our instructions. Okay. And I'll move that off screen here. All right, and we'll say next. And we'll bring in our password, and we'll hit next, and we'll say, I understand. And I will bump up the font here for you in a moment. I know it's really small. Did I mess that up? No, it's fine. Okay. The reason I do incognito is because I don't want to mess with my main account here. So because I've been doing more than one challenge here, I'm just going to have to choose the student name manually here. So I'm just pulling that off there and putting it in here. This is just the values over here on the right-hand side. Nothing too complicated, okay? And we will go here and hit next. All right, and I'm gonna say I agree. I'm gonna say agree and continue. And what we'll do is we will go make a new Cloud Spanner instance. So we'll go up here and type in Spanner, because that's what I at least remember about this challenge, is Cloud Spanner. And we'll go here and we'll say got it. And we'll go ahead and create ourselves a new instance, and we'll go over here and see what we're expected to call this. So we have a source bucket already created for us, which is great. It must be called Starfleet. That's a good name. And so that seems good. Probably regional, because we did not specify anything in particular. I'm going to choose a region, US East 1, just to keep things, we'll do US Central 1 because it's more energy efficient. And from here, we'll need to create ourselves a new database. So we'll go here. Oh, I promised I'd bump up the font for you. There you go. And from here, the database needs to be called shipbase. Holy smokes. I have a new Windows machine and I really have to turn off the snap feature. Drives me crazy. Okay, so see now these are snapped. I didn't want that snapped. Okay, so Google Standard SQL. I actually had originally done this with Postgres, but I wasn't able to use the query interface, at least at the time of, and so I had to fall back to Google Standard SQL, which is not a big deal. Standard's fine. I like it. So it says create a database called shipbase in your Spanner instance and a table in the new database name starships. So the idea behind this is that we need to create a table, right? And I think that it provides us the SQL here. Do we need to define data definition language here? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. And so we'll scroll on down. You'd think I would know what DDLs are because I covered in one of my courses, but I can't remember half the stuff that I teach. And so if we want to query data, we can just go over here and query. And we already have our SQL. Okay. You know what? It wasn't that we couldn't query here. I think it was we couldn't use import-export into the Postgres database. That's the reason why I didn't use it. So statement not supported, create table statement line 1. Oh, probably because we have to name the table something. And so we're going to name that table. What do we need? The schema of it is starships. So say starships will be the name of the table. Do we still have an error? I think it's okay. So we'll hit run. It says statement not supported, create table statement. So I guess we can't create tables here. Huh. So let me look. I kid you not, I told you I do not remember how to do this. Okay, so you must create a Cloud Spanner instance name and instance ID both set to Starfleet. And create a database name Starships in the Spanner instance and create a new table in the new database called Starships. So if we can't use the create table statement here, then we have to be able to do it somewhere else. And I think that's maybe where the DDLs come into play. Allows you to alter the database, create and alter, or drop tables. That's my fault for not reading that. Okay, so what we'll do, and all these things are like DDLs. There's a bunch of them, like if we look this up, SQL DDL. There's a bunch like DDL, DQL, DML, DCL. It's just a collection of statements that are used for different kinds of operations. And so DDL statements, like a create table statement, is for manipulating the database. And so it's just a different way of grouping that stuff in. So those are isolated for security purposes to make sure you're not doing anything dangerous. So it makes sense why we can't do that in the query phase. So what we'll do is go grab the database name again. We'll call it Starships. And we'll hit submit. It says syntax error, end of line character, whoops, semicolon. Okay, so I guess we don't need the semicolon there. We'll hit submit. I was thinking like it was a statement because a lot of times in SQL you'll end it with a statement. And now it's updating it. And so now we should have a table called that. So if we go into, we're already in our database. And we'll do a query. I know there's nothing in that table, but let's just do a query to see if we get anything back. Maybe we can show the tables. How do we see all tables? So I'm just going to go into Google here for a second and say, show tables SQL. List all tables. Yeah, we'll try show tables. The reason I had to look that up is because I think in Postgres it's slightly different. And so I'm not sure. Statement not supported show tables. So then it's going to be Google Cloud SQL show tables because it's probably something different. I wonder if we can just see the tables. If we go back to our overview here, it's a bit big, so I'm just going to shrink the screen here. And we have it. Oh yeah, the table's right here. Oh, and it shows the schema. Okay. So I guess we didn't actually have to use a query to see it. We can see our table right here. And we'll go back here and check our timer, 12 minutes. I'm going so slow. It's crazy how slow I'm going. And so now the next thing we need to do is we need to stream data over, or at least import it into our bucket. So the source data is provided, import the data. Okay, So what I'll do is I'll make a new tab, and I want to verify that we do have a bucket. So we'll type in bucket. It'll take us over to cloud storage. And from here, we have a bucket called CSV Star Trek FE8CY. And inside of there, we have a CSV file. The reason I want to show you the CSV file is because I think it requires a particular format, if I remember correctly. So what we'll do is, can I just view the data in here? No, but we'll download it. And the thing I want to show you is that there's no header. Okay, so normally, like if you have a CSV data, you might have a header in the top to say like, what are the field names, which we have over here: ship name, registry, ship class, description. But specifically for import, you're not supposed to have the headers as far as I remember. So what we'll do is go back to Spanner and we'll go to our database, and there's an import export option. And it says it was having issues. We'll say retry here. Oh, it logged me out. Huh. Okay, that's totally fine. So we need to log back in the right account, 1E. So we'll go here and click in 1E. And we'll go here. And from here, what we'll do is we want to import, but it says export. In the past week, no import export jobs have been run on the database through Cloud Spanner UI. Okay, that's totally fine. To import data from cloud storage into a new Cloud Spanner database, click here. So we'll click here instead. Oh, it's weird that they have the button export really big there, but import's there, but that's totally fine. So what we'll do is click browse, and we'll go to our CSV over here. And we will, can we select that? Open a cloud storage bucket and select a folder generated by a previous Cloud Spanner export. I think it's because you can have multiple files in there maybe to import. It's interesting it's saying from an export because I definitely did not do that. So how do we do that? Okay. I could have swore this is the way we would do it because Cloud Spanner imports use multiple cloud products. Make sure you require permissions and stuff like that. So if it's not there, then how do we get it in? Backup restore? Use backup tables to manage the stuff. So we've got 10 minutes on our challenge here. Our timer's not running. I'm going to just hit refresh here. So I'm just making sure that I didn't run out of time here. Yep. Okay, it's still going. So to import data into a new Cloud Spanner database, Cloud Spanner's import-export features assumes you intend to use auto mode VPC. Okay, what if I had export? But I don't want an export job. I want an import job. If I didn't use this method, then maybe it has to use a job. Let's go find out. What clues did I leave? Okay, so you can use this example to create a DDL, and you'll need to create, you can use this example to create a manifest import JSON file. Okay, right. So when you export, right, like let's say you already had a table and you export, it would create a manifest file for you so that then it would know how to import the files, right? So if we go over to this one here, notice it has like a file pattern because it could take a lot of files here. So the idea is we need to actually create this file, save it, and put it beside the other file in the bucket. Okay, now I remember. So I'm going to open up Cloud Shell here because I want an editor environment. I love that Google Cloud has an editor. Like you just click there and you have an editor. How awesome is that? So we'll wait for that to provision here in a moment because we do need to change the text here. And I just don't feel like opening up a local text editor. I don't even think I have one installed on this computer yet. So we'll copy that and we'll give that a little bit of time to spin up. We can't load the code editor because of third-party cookies. How do I? But I don't care about the third-party cookies. Okay. Settings. Let's go to cookies. Can I enable those? Cookies. How do I allow third-party cookies? Block all no. Let's allow third-party cookies. Okay, because if we don't have those, then how am I supposed to do anything? So we'll turn that on, and I'm hoping, oh, the editor now works. Perfect, great. So we'll create a new file here, and this will just be my, what is this, a JSON file? JSON file, my JSON. That's not what we'll name it. It has to be named, I think, the same name as the import. You can use this example to import the manifest file. Good question. Import manifest file cloud, or not cloud storage, but spanner. I have a strong feeling it's supposed to be the same name. Okay. But what's it supposed to be called? I'm just going to take a guess. I'm going to assume it's supposed to be the same name as your file, okay? So we'll go down here, and we're just copying that content. We'll paste it on in. The name of the table is not called ships, it's called starships. And we need to put in the correct CSV here. So if we scroll up, I think they generated it out for us here. So it's right here. I'll paste that in. And I think that they actually all are strings. We'd have to go double check that. Yeah, they're all strings. Okay, so what we'll do here is save this file. I hit Command S to save it. And I'm gonna rename this file to ships. Gonna rename that there, ships. Rename. Ships. I'm gonna go ahead and download this file. So we'll say download. Great. And I'm just opening this off screen here. Okay, so you can see there is the file. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our cloud storage bucket. Oh, you know what? We might already be there. Let's just close that. Nope, we're not. So I'll make a new tab here. Close this out here. Cloud storage. And we'll go into this one here. And it's called, oh, Star Trek CSV. Okay, I thought it was called ships. So we'll rename that Star Trek. And we'll drag that on in there. I like how you can just drag. Other cloud storages, not so much. You can drag somewhere, but it's not like one go here. So I'm just double checking to make sure I named those correctly. Looks correct to me. So what we'll do is go back over here and we'll go to our import. Again, I wish they put an import button there. And we'll click into here. And now notice that we can select it. So it just wanted it to be named the same thing. And then we need to select our next, and we're going to choose Google Standard SQL. Oh, they can do Postgres now. Wow, that's awesome. Because before, when I was doing it, it wasn't possible. So if they can do it now, that'd be really awesome. Name your database. What was the database called? I forget. The database name is called. Create a database called ShipBase. Oh, no. Create the database name called ShipBase in your spanner and a table called Starships. Okay. Yep. And then we'll say next. Enter the permanent name of your database or at least 2 characters starting with a letter. Huh. Oh, I think that's actually going to create the database on the import. Oh. Okay. Well, then how do we import for an existing table? To import the cloud storage into a new database, cloud storage import export feature assumes you intend to use auto mode. Oh. Into a new cloud spanner database. Huh. What if we do backup? No, I don't think that's the same thing because that'd probably be like snapshots. Yeah. That'd be like a database snapshot. That wouldn't be the same format. Okay. So now what? Let's scroll down here. So create this Cloud Spanner instance in Cloud Spanner SQL. Create a table. Create a Cloud Spanner import manifest. Create and run a Dataflow template job to successfully import the text data into Cloud Spanner database. Oh, we do have to create a Dataflow. The first attempt to run Dataflow in the lab session or new project may fail with a credential error. Okay. All right. So what we'll do is we'll go over to Dataflow. And we will create a new job. And we'll, does it matter what the job's called? I don't think it matters. Import into, or like bucket to spanner import. Yes, central one is what we're in. Cloud spanner, is there a template? Cloud storage. Text files. Oh, look at that. Okay, so it has a manifest file. So I think this is the command we need to run. I don't think we're going to have enough time. I think we're going to have to start this over again. So we need the Cloud Spanner instance ID. So we'll open a new tab here. We'll go over here. It's so embarrassing that I don't even know how to do my own lab. Okay, so we'll put this one in here, the instance ID. And we'll choose the database name, which is called shipbase. And then we need the thing here. Why is this not counting down? Is this done? Nope, it's still counting down, okay. And then we need our Google storage link here. Actually, we can just browse, it's easier. So click that, we'll go to JSON here, we'll say select, temporary location, path prefix for writing temporary files. Oh, we have to have a temporary place to write files? Okay, we'll call this temp. Great, we'll say select. And we'll say run job. I mean, that was kind of fun because we got to go through the import export, and I at least learned now that we can do Postgres imports. But now I'm remembering that, yeah, I'm just like going through the same thing that I did before where, you know, you make assumptions and, you know, it takes a few times to remember how to do things in the cloud. So now these jobs, is this queued? Oh, did it already go? For some reason, streaming gets queued and then it takes time to spin up. So I'm just waiting for, oh, there it goes. The import to happen. 0 of 98 stages succeeded. So I think that's all the records being imported. We have 15 seconds left. I'm gonna just check my progress, see if I did it. I feel like we're gonna have to start this all over again. I think we ran out of time. Yeah, we did. Okay, so I believe that I completed it, but I have to do it all over again because I messed up. So we'll hit start again. But now I for sure can do this. How embarrassing. We'll give it a minute. It's incredible that these spin up in less than a minute. Absolutely awesome. So we're just still waiting along here. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I'm just zoning out. So we'll open a new incognito tab. We'll drag this one over, expand this. We'll hit next. We'll get our password here. We'll say, I understand. And we'll give this another go. So I kind of know what we need to do. So we'll say, I agree. I'll say agree and continue. We'll make our way over to Spanner. And we're going to go ahead and create ourselves. Got it, got it. We'll create ourselves a new instance. This instance needs to be called Star Trek. And we will choose US Central 1. I don't think, like, the buckets are global, right? They're not in a particular region. I'm just going to double check. I just want to make sure we're not going cross-region for any reason here. US East 1. So you know what? I'm going to match the region just so that there's no mistake here, okay? And that's good. So we'll go there. We will create ourselves a new database. We will call it shipbase. We will scroll on down and we will go ahead and grab our table definition here. And we need to make sure we name this correctly. It's supposed to be called Starships, I believe. Just give me a second here. I'm gonna bring my microphone a bit closer. If I've been a bit quiet this entire video, it's because, again, I reset up my computer and I don't know if I did everything correctly here. You must then create an instance and then a table in the new database called Fleet Members. Oh, the name changed. Maybe they randomize it. You gotta be really careful there. So then create a database named ShipBase and then a new database named, a table called Fleet Members. Okay. So we'll go here and we'll paste that on in here. So I guess it's Fleet Members now. That's totally fine. And we'll go ahead and create that database. Okay. And so our database is created, our table is created, Fleet Members, our schema is correct. That looks fine to me. And the next thing we need to do is get that manifest file. So I'm going to create a new Cloud shell and we'll say continue. And we'll go to the, we'll open the editor here. We'll say got it. And we'll give it a moment for this to load. And while that's loading, I'm going to go ahead and grab the manifest code here. And we'll give it a moment. We'll create a new file here. It's still thinking, so it's not letting me create a file just yet. File, new file. There we go. Probably overloaded it, did it too many times. So file, new editor. I'd rather right click and do it this way. Star trek.json. We'll paste the contents here. This is called, whoops. This is called Fleet Members. Okay, and we'll go up here. And we will put in the right thing here. This is all correct. This looks fine. And it's looking for just that file. So we will save that. We will download that. Okay, and just so we don't get confused, I'm going to delete the old one. And I need to rename this so it's just Star Trek. And the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make our way over to our bucket. So I'm going to go over to our bucket and click into here. I'm going to click into our bucket. And I'm going to upload this file into our bucket. And what I'm going to do is now go over to our jobs. So we'll say Dataflow. Probably could have went straight to jobs, but click there. I gave up on having big text for everybody. I'm sorry. It's just easier if you can see everything. If you got a tiny screen, can't help you. And it really doesn't want to load Dataflow today. We'll click it again. If that's a problem, I'll just close out that tab. We'll click here. We'll type in Dataflow. Can't even type. And we'll go to jobs. And we'll go ahead and create a new job. And we'll call this, do we have to name the job anything? I guess we don't. It just has to see the end result, right? See Dataflow. Dataflow. You can use the example to create a manifest spanner into import Dataflow job. Create a Dataflow template job to successfully import. So there is no requirements for the name, so we'll just say import starships. We'll put US East 1 this time, so it's the same as the bucket, the same as spanner. And this time we'll type in cloud storage. I'm going to assume it must, like text file must be right, so cloud storage to spanner is what we're looking for. Text files on cloud storage to spanner. And we'll say, we'll have to put some values here. So cloud spanner instance ID. We'll open a new tab. We'll just make sure we do this right the first time. So we'll say cloud or spanner. We'll click into here. Star Trek, Star Trek. Uh-oh. I think our instance ID is wrong. Oh no, it's the wrong name. Okay, let's delete the instance. Let's delete Star Trek, Star Trek. You've got to be kidding me. Deleting the instance permanently removes the instance in all of its databases. That's totally fine. Whatever. I don't care. Let's create a new instance. Let's make sure it's just called Star Trek this time and not Star Trek, Star Trek. We'll make sure it's US East 1 because that's where our bucket is. That's where everything else is. We'll go ahead and create that. We're going to go and grab our schema here. We'll create our new database. The database needs to be called, what? What do we need our database called here? Ship base. We will go grab this name here for a second. We'll paste it into here. We'll go to here. We will then go here. And I'll hit create. And we have our new table. It's here. So that's not a big deal. We can go back over to here and we can put our instance ID in here. So it's supposed to be called Star Trek. And then this name was called, again, for you, it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same as what I have because it's auto-generated. And we will choose the manifest file this time. So we'll go here, select it. Path and file name prefix to writing temporary files. We'll create a new folder in here called temp. Not sure why it needs it, but I'm not going to question it. And we'll run the job. Cloud Spanner database ID. Oh, it's not called that. It's called Shipbase. I was getting mixed up. Okay, and so I don't remember how many records there are, but if it's like 98 and it says success, then it must have imported them all. So we'll give it a moment. This is pretty quick. Again, streaming takes a lot more time. I guess I have to provision a virtual machine, and that's why when I do challenge 4, which I actually did first, or challenge 5, which I did first, 4 or 5, that's why that was slightly different. But this shouldn't take too long to run. If we click back, it'll probably have ran already. Should just be pretty darn quick. We are waiting to see the graph. There we go. 0 out of 98. So 98 records, it's found 98 records because I think it's looking at per line in the file. And it's going to import each line. So we just have to wait for that to complete. It's usually very, very quick. There's no refresh on this page, so we'll go back here. Give it a refresh. Can I expand this? What would I see? Whoa. I like the visual. Okay, so it's clearly doing stuff. It's starting up. It's just reading the schema, apparently. Or I guess it's starting up all these things. Maybe it's provisioning a virtual machine underneath. Or a container. In any case, we have to wait a little bit here. That is some crazy stuff going on there. We'll just shrink that if we can. Oh. Once I guess you expand it, it's hard to unexpand. Well, whatever, that's fine. We'll go to table view. We'll watch our time here. So 9 minutes and 20 seconds. So there's no way, like, even though we ran it last minute, I think we had it all right. There's no way it would have ran in time. I could have swore this like used to take 2 minutes, but I have a very poor memory. Maybe it takes 5 minutes. That or I've messed something up. Oh, 1 of 98. Okay, so I bet it'll be really fast now. 5 of 98. 7 of 98. Now it still hasn't, I don't think it's in, or has it imported some stuff? Cannot tell. Eight of 98. You know, I could pause the video and come back, but I'd rather do this in real time because we're doing this under a clock. So, but I'm hoping able to do it in time here. I'm just kind of curious about some of the stuff here. Read the manifest file. So it seems like once it gets to here, it should go pretty quick, right? While we're waiting, we can go and write a query in our database here. So we'll go to query here, like say select. Sometimes this pop-up messes things up. I don't know why. Select from, oops. Select all from fleet members. We'll run that and see if there's any data in there yet. So there's no results. So I still think that it's like running some of these steps. Oh, now it's starting to process maybe? Well, how many steps do we have now? 4 minutes. Oh, the clock here. I'm so afraid that we're not going to make it in time. 72 of 98. Okay, so now it must be doing them in bulk. So it must have hit a step here. Yeah, 86. Yeah, so I think it was just like it was setting a lot of that stuff up, and now it's going real fast. So it'll probably be done here in a few seconds. 94. Probably if we query, we'll probably start seeing data now. Yeah, we are. But we're just waiting for this to complete. Because I don't know what the requirements are, like if it just sees any data, if we're expecting all 98 records. I would think that this test would probably check for all 98 records. So we'll go back into here. It is complete. It is succeeded. Okay, so 5 minutes, not that bad. You know, a lot of times I'm not sitting around here waiting, so in my head it always feels like 5 seconds because I'll go get a drink or something, but 5 minutes is not that bad. We'll create, make sure the data is there. So I believe that I have passed this. So we'll go ahead and check my progress. There we go. So I completed my own challenge. And it's the first challenge out of these new sets of challenges. So I hope you like the challenge and you give it a good review. We'll say, and lab, we'll give it submit. We'll say, best challenge so far. Might be biased there. But yeah, so that is the first challenge done and over with. And you can see, like, even myself, I thought that I would go that other route, but we did eventually figure it out. And so I will proceed to the other challenges. But yeah, there you go.